And we're back again. What's up, guys? It's Paul here with a new video. Guess what? I got a new Calathea. This is a Rosio Picta green and white. So it is green, it doesn't have the purple undersides, and it doesn't have the purplish, pinkish lines. They're white. Now what I did, of course, I transferred it to water culture because that's what I do when they're healthy, so there aren't any issues. I've only had this for, I guess it's been about a week now, and transitioned it midweek, and so it's only been in water for about 5 days, I'd say. But I wanted to show you, we got some new leaves already. You know, there were some leaf sticks or tubes, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and now they're opening up, and they are very healthy and very beautiful. This is another one here. There's one back here that's opening up. But you can see the healthy leaves, right? And this is what it came with. These are the old leaves. Look at how brutal this is. This is just painful to look at. But I'm keeping them on so I can compare. I'm going to compare. Look at this one, horrible. And this is not water damage or issues with the water. This is just careless transfer to the store where I got this. But as you can see, it's such a beautiful, beautiful plant. So it's like a medallion, except it doesn't have any of the inner leaf design. And it's also like the dotty, except it doesn't have any of that purplish pink. It's just white and green. And there's something simple yet beautiful about it. So I said, I want one. And I've been thinking about getting it. First time I saw it, I said, nah, I'm not going to get it. I have a lot of Calathea. But you can never have too many. So I said, oh, when I go back, if it's still there, I'm going to get it. And sure enough, I went back to one of my favorite shops, and it was there, and I got it. Reasonably priced. It wasn't like out of this world or anything. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's take a look at the roots like we always do. Let me bring this up to the light so you guys can see. It's already got a little bit of new root growth. See the white tips there? That's some new root growth. Loves the water culture. We have a new growth point. Let me see if I can focus. There we go. That little tip in the middle there. New growth point. And yeah, I mean, it's done extremely well in acclimating. Has not lost anything. And again, I didn't remove those nasty leaves. Oh, there's a nice root in there. See that big white one in the middle? Oh, that's so cool. But yeah, I didn't want to remove those leaves because I want to remember where this plant has come from and where it's going, because it's going to be extremely happy, just like just about all of my others. The only plant in this family that's been giving me a problem that's worth mentioning, because everything else, even if they do have little issues, they bounce right back. The only one that's been giving me a problem is the Triostar Stromanthe. I don't know why, but I'm getting a new growth point, but the leaves are just, the old leaves are starting to die off. I'm not liking how the roots are looking. So I'm not sure what's so different about a Stromanthe compared to Calathea, Tenanthe, or Maranta, but it is not doing so hot. And they never have done hot in soil for me, so I'll have to see. I may have to try again, you know what I mean? It's like, I need to figure it out. I need to put the puzzle pieces together and figure out exactly what the plant needs in a water culture environment, because that's how I'm going to grow it. Look at how beautiful these leaves are. So cool. So just to give you a rundown, I transfer this. I've been changing the water every couple of days, making sure that the roots look healthy. I did a really good job cleaning off the soil, so the roots are in good shape, but I'm making sure the water stays clean. And now that I started to see some root growth, I can give it some feed if I want. I can give it very dilute, and again, I give it orchid fertilizer in water culture. If you're not going to use that, you can use any type of a hydroponic grow, high nitrogen fertilizer, because that's basically what these guys need. You don't want these guys to bloom. Some of them have pretty flowers, but really what you want to see is the leaves. That's the whole point of having Calathea, because look at these leaves, are gorgeous. So yeah, and then now that it's getting acclimated, it's almost done with its acclimation process, I'll be able to just keep topping off the water, and I'll maybe flush it out once a week or once every 2 weeks. Eventually, if if the water isn't evaporating and being used up too quickly, I can maybe move to every 3 weeks or every month to flush it out. But you definitely want to top it off and make sure that you don't have too much of the root system outside of the water. I like to leave just a little bit of root so that there's oxygen exchange with the roots. A little bit of root exposed to the air, and the water just a little bit down, I'd say about an inch. But everything else is doing great. I'm telling you, Calathea love water culture. They love it. Next thing I'm going to talk about is I got some new succulents because I love my succulents. I love particularly Haworthia and Aloe. And I made some Kokedama because aside from water culture, I like growing these guys in Kokedama. So what I do is I take the plant out of the soil, and usually it's in a nice gritty mix, cactus succulent soil, so it's not hard to take the soil off the roots, but I clean it off really well, and I let it dry for a little while, pull off any roots that are dead, because we don't need them, we don't want them rotting. I gently wrap the roots in sphagnum moss, and then wrap them with acrylic yarn. And look at all these pups. This is like pupping like crazy. I'm probably going to do a video of propagating this plant. I'm going to remove some of the pups, show you how I handle it, and then what I do with the pups in order to get some roots. So that'll probably be soon. But that's the first one. This is a Haworthia. I can't remember if it's Symbiformis, something like that. But really cool. The leaves are very juicy and squishy. They're almost like jelly beans, and you just like want to bite them. I know you shouldn't, but that's just what I feel like doing. But I'm not going to do it. Don't worry, I won't do it. But really kind of cool looking plant. I just love Haworthia. I have so many now, and most of which are in Kokedama. Really cool. Next up, we have, this is an aloe hybrid. Now, this did not come labeled, but I've had these before, so I'm not sure if this is Fifth Avenue or something like that. But get a load of this plant. Let's see if I can I'm gonna go up to the light so you guys can see. If you can see this clearly. It has the spots like typical aloe, and it has little tiny, they look sharp teeth, but they're really not sharp. I mean, they don't hurt. You can touch the whole plant. It's very soft. But I love how these grow. They love being in Kokedama, and these will start to grow really quickly and really tall and spill out over the edge of the cup or the glass. And they just look really cool. And another thing is they are easy to take cuttings from. I could like take one of these right now if I wanted to and cut it like, maybe 2 inches down, let the tip callus over, let it dry. Then you could stick it in some more moss or just stick it right into a Kokedama ball with dry sphagnum moss. Or once the callus is over, you can stick it in water and get water roots. I've done that as well. But these are so easy. The cool thing about growing Haworthia and Aloe and Kokedama is that just like any other way that you grow succulents, you could let them dry out. You can forget about them. They'll let you know. This one obviously was in need of some water. That's why the leaves are a little curled, and I just watered it yesterday. Still getting its juices flowing. But this one here, you can see, is nice and full of hydration. This one has been watered more regularly. But the cool thing is I've had some of these and I just haven't watered them for maybe even a month, possibly 2 months. And eventually they start to shrivel a little bit and they turn a dark color, almost like a brownish reddish or purple. But they bounce right back as soon as you water them. They are fine. So I'm also doing some experimentation. I know it works, I've already done it, but I'm doing a new experiment with it, just setting some of these, some of my other Haworthia up in water culture, because I already have some of my aloe growing in water, as you've seen in prior videos if you've been watching. So I'm going to do the same thing with these guys. I have one at my job in water. It's doing just fine, and I want to see the difference, because what I've noticed is a lot of times the Haworthia that I have in water culture seem to grow quicker because they have constant hydration, compared to these guys that you let dry out and then you hydrate them and then dry out. So kind of like they stall when they're waiting for the next watering. Not that it's a bad thing. That's what you do with succulents. You let them dry out when they're in soil. But in water culture, the ends of the roots at the very least are in a constant, they have constant access to water and nutrients if you're going to add nutrients. And they look like they just have been growing ever since I put them in water culture. They just have been growing and growing and growing. And you see the new growth is like a lighter green. So I'm going to do that with more of them because my goal is I want my Haworthia to grow quickly and pup quickly so I can propagate them and sell them off. So that is my goal with my Haworthia, aside from having them because I just love them and they're so cool looking. But yeah, so that is this video. If you have any questions about my Kokedama methods with my succulents, because I mostly just do Kokedama with my succulents, or if you have any questions on the water culture method for Calathea, Maranta, Tenanthe, Stramanthe is a little struggle. But if you have any questions on how I've been handling this and how they're so lush and beautiful, just leave me a comment and we will get into it and I'll explain what I do. Otherwise, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I will see you in the next video.